Psych-Minded Media presents Best Psychology in Film with your host, Dr. Catherine Marshall Woods. Best Psychology in Film is also a book available online where books are sold. Today's featured guest, Dean Parker. Hi, my name is Dr. Catherine Marshall Woods, and welcome to Best Psychology in Film, where we discuss together with award-winning filmmakers the psychology within their work. Life is full of negotiations, some very easy to make with a clear goal and sight in mind, and some very difficult to maneuver. What is it like when one gives up on hope and finds that the only negotiation that feels worthwhile to have is to negotiate one's death? The film Call the Shot, directed by Dean Parker, explores this idea. Welcome to the show, Dean.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. I am excited to have you on too. I had the lovely opportunity to see your film at the Roxbury Film Festival, held virtually, but typically held in Boston, Massachusetts. This was a short film that really stood out to me for many different reasons, and I really wanted to get you onto the show to talk about your film and what it contains. So, can you share with us a little bit about what the film is all about?
Sure, yeah. The film is about a suicidal man who forces his bartender to carry out his death wish through a life defining conversation. So the whole film is set in one location, and it's just these two guys just having a conversation about really just about life and like what it really means to be alive, honestly, like kind of like what you said. So, yeah.
Where did you get the inspiration to think about this? I mean, I know you directed this film. How did this idea even come together?
Sure. So I can't take all the credit for the idea. There's actually a writer for the film named Ron Shalom, and he got the idea actually from a Martin McDonough, a short film called Six Shooter, which essentially just that short film. If you've seen it, it takes place entirely on a train with a bunch of like conversations, and he was inspired by that short film uh, and the idea of a whole film in one location to create this short film. And essentially, really, he just, uh, it's funny. I was actually supposed to direct a project during my junior year of college, and the project fell off the table. And I kind of went to Snapchat actually, and I kind of complained about how I wanted to direct something, but I wasn't sure what to do. And he saw that Snapchat and reached out to me because he had seen some of my previous work. That was like the one time in my life where Snapchat was like really useful. uh, but we met up and he showed me the script, and I was really intrigued by it because I was intrigued by just the idea of how it almost to me seemed like, and I would say it is like a cautionary tale where you have one character who's at the end of his rope talking to another character that's much younger, who is kind of at the beginning, more at the beginning of his life, and sort of telling him to really not make the mistakes that he did. And I just was so fascinated by that idea, and I really wanted to direct it, so he let me direct it, and really left it up to me to interpret the script and how to direct it. So
Oh, that's a wonderful opportunity to have that sort of freedom and liberty to really have the space to interpret the characters. I want to come back to that actually, but before we get there, you said that it's held in one location.
yeah.
Where is the film held exactly?
So we shot the film at a bar in Athens, Ohio, at Jackie O's Brew Pub. Uh, Now that's where we shot the film, but essentially I never really give any indication of where exactly this film takes place, what bar it's at, because I really want to leave it up to the audience. I like the idea of just it kind of feeling like it's just kind of in just some sort of strange like vacuum, like where this bar is. And I just feel like not knowing where the characters are, I think adds to the whole idea of how lonely the one character is, and just how, honestly, I mean, they're both pretty lonely characters. Um, yeah, so it's up to your interpretation of where it actually takes place. So
I'm so glad you said that because one of the things that I work with individuals with and directors is set accuracy. And one of the things that we talk about with directors and myself is how you'd like the location to portray the emotional effects that you like. And when I saw your film, I actually questioned, did he work with a psychologist on this film? And I thought that because the actual location felt almost like a therapy session, a therapy room where the two individuals are within this time and place that, like you said, almost feels like a vacuum. It's
mhm,
not uncommon, let's say, for a therapist and a patient to have experiences with one another in a therapy room and kind of lose track of time. They
yeah,
kind of say for some therapy sessions, this session was so long. And then others, they say, wow, my session flew by. It doesn't feel like I've been in your office for 50 minutes, an hour. So it almost feels, has that same sense in your film, is that it is such an intimacy between the two of them that this bar feels very much like a therapeutic space. And
yeah.
I was wondering if that was part of your goal.
I mean, that's wow. That's, I mean, honestly, that's a really cool way to put it. I never really thought of it like that. But when we were picking a bar to shoot at, I mean, so I went to Ohio University, and that's where we shot the film, like around the campus. And it's a very, I mean, there's a lot of bars on site, and I mean, I would, most college bars, honestly, I mean, wouldn't look like that. And I wanted to shoot at something that didn't feel like we were shooting something at a college. I was like, I don't want college associated with this film. And if we would have shot at any other college bar, I think we would have lost what you were talking about. Um, and I just wanted something a little bit more, I would say, I guess, old fashioned and something more interesting. And I will also have to give credit to the gaffer of the film, Ben Carpenter, for his lighting. I think that also definitely plays into that therapeutic feeling that you're talking about. And the thing I really liked about the location myself is that I loved how uh, we could frame shots with with the bar, how the patron would be sitting, and then the bartender would be in the background, but like it would still look like they're talking to each other. And I think that was really fun to play with in terms of framing. And so I liked that idea of the whole thing, how we could use that the bar to our advantage to get shots like that. And I guess, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say it is pretty therapeutic, but I never thought of it like that. That's really interesting. Yeah.
It's also really good to hear that you said you accredit your gapper with the lighting. And I would agree the type of lighting actually does have more of that therapeutic space sort of lighting. Furthermore, those shots that you mentioned, I thought were also quite important to your film. The shots of having both individuals always in the shot, even if someone was in back of someone else, really highlighted to the audience that neither one of them were ever alone in this contemplation. It was always something they were in together. Even though they may have had different feelings about being in it together, they were
Right.
both always in it together.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it just, yeah, because from the get go, I mean, it does seem like the two characters, like they're not compatible at all. Because the bartender, he just wants to go home for the day, and this guy's just like luring him in, like, what's this guy doing? Like, what is he? He's taking up my time. But yeah, it just, I mean, again, got to give credit to Ron. He did a great job, like, um, writing those characters out. Credit to him.
I would agree. When you actually saw the script, I'm wondering what were your visceral feelings about these characters? Did you like them?
I did. I mean, I thought. I thought the patron. It just, he's one of those characters that when you read his character, you just want to know like more about him, and just like where did he get his thoughts from? What experiences did he have? Um, just like what is his deal? Like what is, like, when you're reading it, like, you don't really from the outright know where is he going with this? What is his goal? And yeah, I was really fascinated by him and the bartender too, because the way that we come to realize how much these two click is so fascinating, because he just seems like just this kid that really just is just kind of doing his own thing. But then he actually has also really interesting deep thoughts like him. And yeah, I thought they were both two characters that were just kind of down on their luck, but also had thoughts about the world, and like just they were just both really fascinating.
Hear more of this interview at Best Psychology in Film on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, and where podcasts are hosted. Want to make your film psychologically rich? Visit our website at www.psychmindedmedia.com to collaborate. And find more on Instagram at psychmindedmedia. Created with works by